Hey everybody, ¿qué pasó? Welcome back to Armando's house. There's a lot going on in Armando's house and we talk about it all. Today we're going to talk about what it's like to be a Latino living in Australia. You probably haven't heard that very often, Latinos living in Australia, but yes, we are here. We are here. I thought I'd share for folks in the US what it's like to be a Latino living in Australia. So first things first, I'm going to share with you my perspective. Latinos, we come from many different countries. We've got a lot of different cultures. Actually, it's not just one culture, and we have a lot of different experiences. So I'm going to share my experience as a Latino living here, but I'd love to hear your experience if you're a Latino living in Australia or if you're a Latino living in the US. How you think it compares for what I'm about to say. So please leave your comments below. If you like anything that I'm talking about or you kind of agree with it in any way, please do like this video and please do subscribe to the channel if you see value. I talk about culture, I talk about what we're seeing as a family and our learnings. So first things first, what's it like to be a Latino living in Australia? I think it's fantastic. There is a community of Latinos here. It's been here for some time, but it is kind of hard to find our food. It is getting a little better to find good restaurants, but largely we're a pretty small community compared to maybe the Greeks or Italians that have been here for a long time. That said, what I'd like to share with you is like just culturally what it's like to be a Latino here, because there are some really big differences compared to the US. So first things first, when you meet somebody and you're talking to them, and for me, when they hear me speak the way that I do, which is American, because I'm American, they'll say, oh, you're American. And they just put me in the American bucket. There rarely is a question is talk to me about your ethnicity, right? They just put me in the American bucket. And that for me, I feel is great because there's a levity in conversation, in business or whatever it might be, where it's not the, hey, where are you from? And asking a question about my ethnicity, right? Where you get that a lot in the States. Here, not as much. I don't get that as often. Then when you move beyond that, and this gets slightly annoying at times, but once they know you speak Spanish, they're like, oh, you're South American. And, if in the US, you're like, what? They call you South American? But when they hear Spanish, they assume South American. But for my Aussie folks, just because you speak Spanish doesn't mean you're South American. In fact, Mexico's not in South America, Cuba's not in South America. So just as a heads up, but that does tend to happen from time to time. But I think the big one is this concept of, belonging in a culture, right? And not that you don't belong in the States, but there's just different words used. As an example, in the US, we will use, people will say they identify, I'm Mexican American or I'm Cuban American or, whatever it is. You add a hyphen, right, to describe both the nationality and maybe your ethnicity. In Australia, that doesn't happen. You just say, I'm Australian. And you might have an ethnicity with a background that's Latino, but people don't really say that. There is no such thing as a Cuban Australian, right? Nobody talks about being, El Salvadorian Australian. It just doesn't happen that you wouldn't describe yourself that way. And for me, because there isn't this hyphenization, people just consider yourself all, Aussies from different walks of life. Words matter, and I feel that levity, you can just kind of get on with things, right? But, that's my perspective here. I think it's a great place for Latinos to live. There's so much opportunity. There's so much economic opportunity. And I have found Australians, which I am now, extremely embracing of my culture and wanting to learn more and wanting to learn about all Latino cultures. So anyways, I thought I'd share a little bit about what it's like to be a Latino living in Australia. We're a long way from home, but we're making home here and we are flying our flag here. So look, if you find any of this content helpful, please do subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. Please share this video. We're trying to build a voice here for our community, and we're just sharing as a family our experience here in Australia. And hopefully this helps shed some light of what it's like being a Latino living in Australia. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.